What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I just wanted to make a quick video about how I scan for the best stocks of the day. And so the best stocks for me, the stocks that I trade are low float, small cap, high relative volume stocks under a certain price level, which for me would be around 20 bucks. Sometimes I trade more or less depending on how big they move and how volatile they are. But just in this video, I just want to show you guys how I set up my scanner in ThinkOrSwim to find the best stocks if you're trading low float, small cap stocks, or I guess if you're trading other different sectors or different big, like large cap stocks or larger float stocks. You can also scan for those as well, but I'm just going to show what I scan for when I trade. So I trade these stocks mostly because these are the stocks that are going to have the biggest moves in the market every day. And so that's why I have this special scanning tool on ThinkOrSwim, which everybody has if you have ThinkOrSwim. If you have the older versions of ThinkOrSwim, you're not going to be able to use the scanner before the market opens in pre-market hours. But if you have the latest version of ThinkOrSwim, you will be able to use it pretty much any time of the day, pre-market, during market open, and after hours. So go ahead and make sure your ThinkOrSwim is updated, and then I will show you how to set up the scanner to find low float stocks with high relative volume and under a certain price level. So you open up your scanner here in ThinkOrSwim, and then you're going to, let's see, I have something stuck in my mouth. Okay, so make sure you have, so you're gonna have add a filter. Yeah, you want to have, I have 3 filters up. So make sure you have 3 filters. If you don't have 3 filters, you just go to add filter up here and add for stocks. Make sure it's in Stock Hacker, by the way. You want to be under Stock Hacker. Then you want to have 3 filters here for stocks. You're also going to have multiple condition groups. There's going to be maybe like 2 other levels of this like kind of group area of this group. And make sure you delete those. You just by clicking delete. I don't know how I can recreate that to show you, but yeah, no, it's not an option. Yeah, okay, so let's see, wait, add condition group, none of the following, any of the following. Yeah, so it's just a condition group. So you just go over here and I just remove condition group. There you go. You just want to have 1 condition group. You want to have 3 filters, all of them for stocks. And then you want to go into this one and look at volume. And then for me, I like to scan for stocks that have volume of 2 million shares traded up to infinity, however many shares, the max, just like all the way to the ceiling. And then also I will change that midday, because usually midday I'll have always too many stocks, because so many stocks are trading over 2 million shares in volume, that I'll actually switch it after maybe like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning to 5 million. And that will narrow down my choices a little bit more. And then sometimes I'll even bring it to 10 million. And the reason I look for stocks with this high volume is that if you have a lot of volume with a small amount of shares available, it's easier for the stock to rip up super, super high and also come down super, super far and fast. And those are the types of moves that are going to grow an account quickly, and also there's just a lot of opportunity in those types of markets to scalp, and I'm a big scalper, so these are the stocks that I like to trade, because even a couple pennies, they move a couple pennies all like so very often, like 10-20 cents, or and it's just in like such a small time frame that I can easily scalp that, and it's happening over and over again because there's just so much volume and low supply. And so when there's a high demand and a low supply, it's easier for the stock to be whipping around. And obviously it's a lot riskier It's a lot riskier trading these stocks, but over time, if you can get to know these stocks and how these types of stocks moves, you can make a shit ton of money. And that's why I'm investing all this time and energy trading these stocks, even though there's so many bull traps or so many bear traps all the time. And it's pretty much just mayhem. Like stocks will go rip up like 200, 300%. Look at this one, EEIQ ripped up 300, closed at 300%. Do you even want to see what happened here in the midday? This is a stock with, for example, 16 million shares in volume. Okay, well, it doesn't show there's any shares available, so I'll have to get that information online. Which here, let's see. Actually, I don't think it's going to show, just because it's a recent IPO. Yeah, so it's a recent IPO, so I couldn't find the amount of shares available. Maybe I can EEIQ share float. Let's see. Ownership. Let's see. MSN money. Let's see if this shows it. I'm going to pull it up on here. EIQ. Yeah, I don't know where. EIQ share float. Don't ask me why I'm using Bing, but I'm using Bing for some reason. I haven't updated this computer. I just bought it. But okay, so let's see. Everything's locked. I can't see shit. Okay, so it's a low float stock because, listen, you think a low float stock would go from $6 at 5 in the morning to $70 15 minutes. 15 goddamn minutes from $6 to $70. So let's say you buy 100 shares. So 100 shares at $6, that's $600 investment. And if you pull out somewhere near the top, let's say you don't even get close to $70, it looks like there was only 544 shares traded here. So pretty much you aren't getting out there. But let's say you get out in here at this level. So $50, $45. That's like 10 times, nearly 8 or 9 times your investment. Those stocks, those stocks won't rip up that much on such a low volume. You know what I'm saying? Because the float is just so small that even just this amount of volume will cause this stock to rise so fast. And then here in the open, Jesus. Let me shrink this a little bit. Okay. Here in the open, it ripped right up in the open, $18 to $34. And it was halting all the way up. This is a low float stock. These are the types of moves that I look for in the market because you can make so much money. But, I mean, part of my strategy, I like to stay away from the halts because you just never know when you're going to get one of these red candles and you get stuck in this. And look, if you bought in here, $30, it opens up. You didn't get out until 21. You just lost $9 a share. That's why I don't trade these stocks going straight up. But like right up in here, like you can buy the dip down here. Look at this W-shaped pattern, higher low. Follow the higher lows. Sell at the top or somewhere near over VWAP. You can even buy the break of VWAP. You would have gotten faked out here, but eventually you would have succeeded on this VWAP break, and you would have made nearly $3 to $4, or if you were lucky, $5 a share. And that's insane on a $15, $17 stock to make $5 in fucking 10 minutes. So these are the types of stocks that I'm talking about. And that's this is how I set up my scanner to find these. So first, back to the scanner. First, you want to set up your volume. 2 million is good in the beginning of the day, but eventually as the day goes on, you're going to want to filter out more stocks because you want to always keep finding the stocks with the highest volume. However, 2 million would be fine throughout the day. Just make sure you, I always set my percent change to the highest gapper at the top. So EIQ, WAFU, FEIDU, all these stocks do the same thing. So you look at WAFU straight up in the morning, FEIDU ripped up. And yeah, so that's why I like to have my percent change all the way to the top, because those are the stocks that generally give me the most opportunities. And then also share float. So now for share float, it's pretty much going to be the opposite of volume. So for volume, it's 10 million for right now, 10 million all the way up to ceiling. And then for shares, it's going to be the floor all the way up to 100 million shares available, which I mean 100 million is still very, very high supply. Usually I would keep it under like 60 million shares. 60 million shares. But it's really relative towards the volume. So like let's say you have FEIDU here is 105 million and it has 46 million shares in the float. So even though it has a high float, the high volume offsets the higher float because the demand is more than a stock that was, let's say, 60 million in volume, but the reason it moved so much because the shares available might have only been 2 million. So the higher the shares available, you're going to need to have more volume to offset that greater supply to have a bigger move in the stock. But yeah, generally I like to keep it under 60 million. Unless there's really no moves in the market, I will bring it all the way up to maybe 100 million shares available, just to kind of find something to trade and make some sort of couple of quick trades and make some money during the day. But I like the best stocks in the market that are going to make the biggest moves, and the stocks that you're going to want to expect that are going to move 100, 200, 300%, maybe even more, are shares with the float with the shares available under 60 million or 70 million. Generally stocks on over 100 million, there's no way it's going to make a big move. There's no way it's going to make a big move. With that much supply. I don't know why I just blanked out there. The next, I want to keep my price under, right now it's 500. That's not right. I like to keep it under 35. $35. Mostly because if the stock is more expensive, there's going to be a lot less volume going on into the market, just because it costs so much more to buy the share. So it's going to cost more to accumulate for the big money to accumulate shares and push the price and rip it up and flush it all the way down and have these ginormous moves in the market. So that's why I like to keep the price under like $35, just so that it enables people to accumulate the shares faster and also dump the shares faster. So you'll have bigger moves in the market. Because if you have, let's say, $50 stock and it has 50 million shares or 46 million shares available, it's going to move different than a 46 million share available. And actually, wait, let's look at this. MX, $26. So that's kind of higher. See, oh, this is a buyout. So this is the buyout on Friday. So this is not a good example. But yeah, so a higher stock price with a higher float, let's say 46, 50 million, is not going to move as much as a lower price stock, let's say $2 or $4 at 46 million, just because it's going to cost more to accumulate those shares. So that's my setup for tracking small cap, low float stocks with high relative volume. These are the stocks that I love trading. I don't like to get into penny stocks just because I think there's too irrational and risky, and I like to trade actual companies. So this is what I stick to, and a lot of other traders like to trade these types of stocks because you can make a crap ton of money in a short amount of time if you can learn how they move, which is going to take a long time, many months. And yeah, so keep practicing. I'm practicing. I'm still learning. I'm consistent, but my share size is not at the amount that I want to be trading at, so therefore I'm not making a lot of money. However, I'm consistent and I'm making money most days, and I'm profitable on this account. But I'm very far from where I want to be. I'm not making nearly enough money to ever quit my job or buy anything, a big investment or a big item, a big ticket item. Nowhere near that, but I am working towards it, and I know that eventually I will succeed at trading these crazy stocks, these small cap stocks with low floats. This is where you want to be if you're a scalper, especially, just because you can make, in a short squeeze, it could gap up 30 cents in a second, and you can make a good amount of money right there. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got any value, please comment, hit the like button, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.